For much of the past decade, Dr. David Agus has been a CBS News medical contributor as well as a highly regarded cancer specialist. But back in March, when he was set to release a new book titled The Book of Animal Secrets, an LA Times investigation revealed that at least 95 passages in that work had been copied from other works, plagiarized. His co-writer, Kristen Loberg, later accepted responsibility for those copied passages, and the book was pulled from shelves. Dr. Agus says he then spent months on a rewrite. CBS Sunday Morning correspondent Lee Cowan spoke to Dr. Agus about moving forward and doing so in acknowledgement of his mistakes.
I hope AI will enable us to look at not just, did it grow slower or bigger, but every little change is going to tell us something.
Long before Dr. David Agus became a doctor to power players like Apple co-founder Steve Jobs and Senator Ted Kennedy, and before Hollywood's A-listers started sharing their personal health struggles with him on camera, a young Dr. Agus thought he had a book in him. It was 1992, he was fresh out of medical school, but his first try, he says, never really got off the ground. But in the years since, he's become a noted oncologist and biomedical researcher at USC, and he's written several bestsellers. They were as easy to read as he is affable. And as part of his rise, he became a contributor at CBS News.
I wrote books because I wanted to get information to the public, and working with a collaborator enabled me to do that while still able to do my day job, which is taking care of patients and doing research to find treatments for cancer.
His fourth, The Book of Animal Secrets, was slated to be published by Simon & Schuster this past March.
We've been on the earth a million years, so has every animal creature. Their adaptations to live on this earth, the same earth we're on, we can learn from.
But it turns out it was Agus who says he learned a lesson.
I will say, going forward, I'm going to do things myself. I accepted that somebody said it wasn't plagiarized, and obviously that was a wrong assumption.
Just days before it was released, the Los Angeles Times published the result of an investigation that alleged at least 95 passages in the book appeared to be lifted, sometimes word for word, from other sources without attribution.
What was your first thought?
I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. I called the publisher and I said, I don't want to publish this book. I want to correct it before it comes out.
Kristen Loberg, his now former collaborator, apologized in a statement to the LA Times, writing, I accept complete responsibility for any errors my work may have contained, and for not appropriately crediting other people's work. CBS News reached out to Loberg, but got no response. Still, it was Dr. Agus's name on the cover, not hers. He accepted her sin as his own.
Are you sorry?
I'm sorry this happened. I'm sorry it upset people. I'm sorry my reputation, was damaged. I hope I can recover that, and I hope people will trust me going forward. And I'm sorry I hurt patients and the mission.
He says he made the corrections himself. And this week, his book of animal secrets is being re-released.
It's risky to go back with the book, but I feel proud to do it. I'm excited to do it, but I am scared.
Are you still worried that it's impacted your credibility at all?
Oh, sure. I'm in a business where normally people don't say negative things about me, right, as a cancer doctor. And so it affects my credibility. But I think what affects me the most is, it affected my patients.
And yet, he thinks the animal researchers he interviewed for the book do have important enough information that it's worth compiling it all together. When it comes to high blood pressure, for example, scientists say in giraffes, it's off the charts. But they generally don't suffer heart disease. Why? Scientists say dolphins who continue to socialize in pods decrease their chances of suffering dementia. So what does that say about human loneliness? And most significant, perhaps, to an oncologist is that elephants rarely seem to get cancer.
There's a gene called P53, which corrects errors in the DNA. You and I have one copy. Every elephant on every continent have 20 copies of this gene. If we can recapitulate, we can prevent all cancers.
But, as the saying goes, elephants also never forget. Dr. David Agus doesn't necessarily expect his readers to forget, but he is hoping they can forgive.
I write books not for vanity, but to help people, and I hope that can continue.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Lee Cowan in Los Angeles.
The book of Animal Secrets is out tomorrow wherever you like to buy your books. They're talking about never forgetting there at the end. Something to remember about Dr. Agus is he is a fantastic doctor. That's what got him on television and writing books in the first place. He is a terrific practitioner. When my friend got cancer, the person I called first was Dr. Agus for advice and for help. And I thank him for that. And that's what a lot of people feel when they hear the name Dr. Agus.
It's
Well
nice
respected,
and I was going to say, nice to hear from him since that. I know he's always been a big contributor on weekend news and always made himself available.
And him taking up some responsibility.
Absolutely.